Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
What a difference a month makes. When the calendar flipped to September, the Angels were dead and buried. Now, after a remarkable 30 days, a resurgent Halos team has a playoff berth firmly within reach. They arrive in Texas for the season series finale against their division rivals, with their sights not just on the wild card, but also the AL West. This first step to an October to remember starts next on Fox Sports West.
The calendar just turns into October, and that means we're getting closer and closer to postseason play. The Angels and the Texas Rangers get ready to start a 4-game series for the Angels. Every game is a crucial ball game. Let's take a look at the standings. The Angels, with the loss yesterday to the Oakland Athletics, find themselves 3 back of the Rangers, and now a half game back of the Houston Astros. Houston came back and beat the Seattle Mariners last night. Astros are idle tonight before they start a 3-game set against the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow night. Hi, everybody, from inside Globe Life Park. I'm Victor Rojas, along with Mark Guza, and we're glad you could join us once again for Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. And when we talk about Globe Life Park, we talk about the Angels offense. They certainly have swung the bats well here and had some success.
Yeah, you're going to have to continue to swing the bats well, because Texas now a little different club than what we saw in July. They've been swinging the bats well themselves, but some consistent swings when you think about it. What Cole Calhoun has done in this ballpark, squaring up some baseballs, the RBI total, hitting over 400 this season against the Rangers. Mike Trout doing the same, over 400 himself, driving the ball the entire field. Albert Pujols, not only against the Rangers this season, but what he's done throughout his career. So you're looking for some big flies, but this guy right here, C.J. Cron, putting up the best numbers, 18 RBIs against the Rangers this season, 10 with 2 outs. And when you see the numbers, 14-2 in 16 games dating back to last July. The Angels have swung the bat extremely well. They have pitched well. Runners in scoring position. That batting average nearly at .350 for them. So they need to score. They need to score often against this Ranger team to be able to win this game tonight and this series.
A couple of left-handers on the mound. Andrew Heaney for the Angels. Derek Holland going for the Texas Rangers. We're just about ready for baseball here in North Texas. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return.
Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Homestyle Ranch Chicken Club today, only at Jack in the Box. By the Palazzo Las Vegas, where every key unlocks a suite. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. The final 4 games of the regular season for the Angels. Tonight, game 1 of this 4-game set. The Texas Rangers sit atop the division with an 86-72 record. 2.5-game lead over the Houston Astros. A 3-game lead over the Angels. The Halos at 83-75 after the loss last night. And with Houston's victory, a half-game back of the Astros. Houston, as we mentioned, they are idle. They will play the Arizona Diamondbacks for their final 3-game set interleague action beginning tomorrow night. Let's take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Angels in game number 159, and pretty much the lineup that we saw last night. We've seen quite a bit here of late. Eric Aybar in the leadoff spot at short, Cole Calhoun at right, Mike Trout at center, Albert Pujols at DH, C.J. Cron at first, David Freese at third, Shane Victorino gets a start in left. Carlos Perez, he had the 3-hit game last night, is the catcher, and Johnny Giavotella batting ninth and playing second base as they take on the 28-year-old left-hander, native of Newark, Ohio, Derek Holland. And he was very good to start when he returned to the rotation. Last 4, though, has been a different story.
Yeah, his ERA over 8.5 in his last 4 starts. But for my go-tos to be successful against a very good pitcher in Derek Holland, ambush early counts, counts, hitters this year, 476, and the power swing. He's given up 10 home runs, a little over 52 innings this season, and the power numbers for the Angels in this park are tremendous.
Check out the defense for the Texas Rangers tonight. Hamilton, DeShields, and Chu in the outfield from left to right. Beltre, Andrews, Odor, Napoli from third to first. Chirinos behind the plate.
And DeShields out in center field for the Rangers. Done a nice job for him defensively. He's had 6 outfield assists. His father, Delano DeShields, was a very good position player himself for the Expos. Drafted 12th overall back in 1987. Does have 6 errors, though, in center field for the Rangers this year, but a good throwing arm.
Angels away from the Big A, 34-43. They won 5 of the last 7 on the last road trip. That was through Minneapolis and Houston. This one fouled off.
You see right away attacking that first pitch fastball. There's quite a few of them. And you look at his percentages of fastballs first pitch. Against right-handed batters close to 60%. So he will attack early on with his fastball against right-handed batters and try to throw more sliders and occasionally his changeup.
Aybar fouls it, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Eric hitting .269, couple of home runs, 42 runs batted in, 30 doubles on the year. And a 1-for-5 game yesterday. The Angels had 13 hits last night on the heels of the 14 hits they had 2 nights ago. So the offense, especially on that homestand, swinging the bats very well. 0-2 now. That's a ground ball foul.
Aybar, a career .327 hitter against Derek Holland. 16 for 49 with a home run.
Holland faced the Angels on September the 5th. Went 8 innings, allowed a run on 3 hits, struck out 5, and walked 2. But since then, he's allowed 5, 5, 7, and 4 runs in those 4 starts. The last one against the Houston Astros. 0-2 with 2 no decisions. Off speed is down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And his velocity on his fastball has come down a little bit, also averaging around 90, 91. Generally, he's going to be 91 to 95. Slider, curveball, and solid changeup.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
I was watching that last game out against the Astros, and first batter of the game, Altuve, had a line drive right off his hand. You got to keep an eye on that one as far as his feel, especially for his breaking pitches tonight.
Calhoun on deck. Aybar goes down swinging. 1 down. Good breaking pitch down and in.
Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful in this ballpark on the Who Pinball Wizard. Talk about driving the ball to all field, scoring lots of runs. They've done that quite often this season. We showed that in our opening graphic as far as what they've done since the middle of last season in July. It's 14-2. Big reason for that has been the offense.
1 out, nobody on. It's Cole Calhoun at the plate, hitting .261, 25 home runs and 82 runs batted in. Pulls the first one foul. Cole yesterday, of course, the home run in the 9th inning off Sean Doolittle. His second hit of the night, ended up going 2 for 4 with a double, 2 runs batted in. Halos falling just short. They played so well in one-run games, but lost a one-run game last night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Holland starting the season was healthy through spring training. Ended up on the 60-day DL on April the 11th with a subscapular strain in his left shoulder. His first start of the big leagues was April the 10th, and then didn't pitch again until August the 19th. Now he's got the emotions going. Everyone does in this series. Magic number for Texas is 2. They can't clinch tonight. Downstairs with Houston being idle. Trout on deck, then Albert Pujols. Just underway here. Eric striking out for the first out. A door out in shallow right field. Modified shift. Cole chases, and it's back-to-back strikeouts, 2 outs.
2 strikeouts on pitches, almost exact same spot. One to a right-handed batter. This one to Cole, the left-handed batter, out of the strike zone. Swing and miss. One thing against Holland, you don't want to help him out, especially against that slider. He's had a tough feel for that pitch for his last 4 starts, which he's given up 5 home runs. We talked about the ERA against him at 8.59 his last 4 starts. It's been the long ball that's really hurt him.
Trout takes a breaking ball for a strike. Trout yesterday on board all 5 times. 2 walks, 3 hits. He bounces this one foul. It's an 0-2 count. Picked up his 41st home run in the 3rd inning. 89th one batted in. The Angels had 5 solo home runs hit in yesterday's game.
That's great numbers this season. 15 games against the Rangers. 5 home runs, batting average at .415.
Rays off. That's 1 or 2. He's got good numbers against Derek Holland. 10 for 29. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in.
You've seen the fact that he has 18 career home runs against the Rangers overall for Trout.
2-2. Missing down and in. Holland already with a couple of strikeouts to start the game. And Trout goes down swinging, and Holland strikes out the side. Right to the bottom of the 1st with no score. Ranger fans something to cheer about. He struck out the side, so we'll take a look at Bannister's lineman for the Texas Rangers at 86-72. Delino DeShields leading things off to center. Shin-Soo Choo in right. Adrian Beltre at third. Prince Fielder at DH. Mike Napoli at first. Josh Hamilton at left. Elvis Andrus at shortstop. Rugnet Odor the second baseman. And Robinson Chirinos tonight gets to start behind the plate. And he will bat ninth as they take on Andrew Heaney. 18th start of the season. Gooby a 6-3 mark. 3.29 ERA.
A 2.23 ERA on the road with a 3-1 mark. The go-tos for Heaney to be successful against this Ranger lineup. Inside fastballs lefty, as far as percentage of fastballs, nearly 69%. Away to righties, 60%. Very good arm side fastball this year for Heaney.
DeShields takes a strike. Delino hitting .258, 2 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Rule 5 selection from the Houston Astros. Very good speed as Heaney misses upstairs. And it's 1-1. This one lifted foul, headed toward the seats and out of play.
In this ballpark, very important to keep the speed guys off the bases for Andrew Heaney. A lot of power in this lineup for the Rangers. Want to keep those guys off the bases also, so you don't have to concern yourself with the running game.
And you've got to be careful here in the first inning because the Rangers have been deadly in the first inning this year. And even more so in the second half of the year. They lead as far as a run differential in the first inning. A plus 42 advantage, 117 runs scored in the first inning for Texas this year. And is down low, full count. Gets by Perez. That's best in baseball as far as the run differential. Here's the payoff now. And there's a walk. So right off the bat, the speed is on board. We'll check out the defense for the Angels as Victorino's in left field. Mike Trout at center. Cole Calhoun in right. The infield with David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side. Johnny Giavatello and C.J. Cron on the right. Carlos Perez behind the plate.
Eric Ibar at shortstop going to be very important for him to play his normal solid shortstop position. 151st start of the season for Eric Ibar. 14 errors. Has turned 68 double plays. By the way, that pitch was right at the upper part of the strike zone. Quinn Walcott is already established in the low strike zone.
Choo looks at a strike. Right fielder, one of the hottest hitters in baseball since the All-Star break. On the season, a .276 average, 21 home runs, and 79 runs batted in. But he has been red hot, hitting .404 in the month of September. Little tapper out back toward the mound. Heaney's only plays to first. One out. DeShields, the speedy center fielder, now in scoring position with one out.
Even though that's somewhat of a routine play, you can see how under control Andrew Heaney is fielding that slow roller to the mound. Himself in good fielding position, good throw to the first base, which is important for a youngster to be able to do that early on in the game. It's more of a conversation to look back. Could be one of those you flash the glove and then turn around and throw to second base, especially because of the way Eric Ibar is playing in the hole at shortstop. It allows the Shields to get a bigger lead at second.
Beltre the batter. Beltre hitting .283, 17 home runs, 74 runs batted in. He's gotten hot as well. The entire team has played very well since the All-Star break. A 44-26 mark since the break for Texas. 0-1. DeShields mentioned Will Ryan, 24 stolen bases. That leads the team. He's been caught 7 times. Texas with 94 bags on the year. That's third best in the American League. Leadoff walk and then Choo, a little bouncer back to the mound. The Angels went down in order via the strikeout at the top of the first.
Second changeup that Heaney has thrown where he hasn't finished that one off so far. in a very important pitch against this lineup for the Rangers. They're a very good fastball hitting club. You have to establish that changeup. You got to follow through and have good mechanics on that pitch.
There's a good one.
See how he followed through and then the pitch before, he just cut off his pitch.
Long night for the Angels after the long game last night. 3 hours and 39 minutes in the final game of that 3-game series against Oakland. Got to the hotel in the early morning hours. About 3:15, 3:30 in the morning. And still, they came out to BP. Go time this time of year.
There was a lot of energy during batting practice today.
A lot of energy last night on the plane. 1-2. He reaches for this one, grounds one to short. Ibar has it. 2 down. DeShields stops at third base.
It's one thing you always have to be aware of with this Ranger lineup, especially with guys with speed. They sometimes will not stop going around third base. DeShields will do it. Andrews will do it. Odor will do it. They will continue running around and force the first baseman, in this case C.J. Cron, to make a good throw to the plate.
So 2 outs and a man standing at third base here at the bottom of the first inning. Fielder, the DH, is up. Swings the first pitch breaking ball. Oh, what pitch? Fastball missing down.
.257 against left-handed pitching this year for Fielder with 9 home runs. Stays back on the baseball very well. Puts the ball in play. For a strong hitter, a very good, disciplined contact hitter.
23 home runs on the year, 96 RBIs. Team leader in those categories. A 2-1 count. Hitters, umpires, it seems like in this series, when you talk about Quinn Walcott behind the plate, Lance Barksdale at first, Eric Cooper at second, and the crew chief, Gary Cederstrom, at third base.
Yeah, no question. If you're a hitter, these are the guys you like umpiring in this series.
Little dribbler towards second. Off the end of the mound. Giavatelli to Cron. The leadoff walk, Strata in scoring position. Right to the second with no score.
He finished off that last inning after having a man in scoring position there at third base, a ground ball. Kind of threw his hand at it, which you try to avoid. But this is the important thing. Giavitello getting down there with two hands, keep that baseball in front of him, especially knowing he had some time with fielder going down the line. Excellent job by Johnny Giavitello, and a nice job by Andrew Heaney to work around that leadoff walk.
Need to get back to playing airtight defense, especially in these games. Was not the case last night with a big 4 errors. Angels now with 89 errors committed on the season. Pujols, Cron, and Freese here in the second. Derek Collins struck out the side in the first.
We used to always joke about that in the dugout. It's all downhill from this point from Derek Holland. Can't do any better than that. Strike out the side in the first. It's from this point forward. We're slipping a little bit.
Man, unless he did it on 9 pitches, that's pretty much that's the best of the best. That's like a PlayStation type of effort.
It used to be about 9 pitches to get 1 strikeout.
Two. Breaking pitch hammered out to left center field. That ball's got some carry, and it short hops the fence. Albert on his way to second base, and he is in there with a double.
Told you, downhill from there.
21st double of the year for Pujols. That ball was crushed.
That's the deepest part of this yard, really, when you think about it, that corner left center field. Breaking ball that stayed upstairs. It could have actually been a changeup. And Derek Holland knew he made a mistake. He's been making a lot of mistakes upstairs. That's above the belt. Knew he made a mistake. Just hoping it stayed in the yard, right at that 390 sign in left center field. Good swing by Albert.
582nd double of his career. He's now tied for 20th all time with Cap Anson. The doubles list. Cron takes inside.
Another one of those great names.
Yeah. I don't believe he's going to get the Tris Speaker 792.
That's pretty good. Pretty good career.
Yeah. Cron hitting .266, 16 home runs and 49 RBIs. Takes low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
It's Mr. RBI against the Rangers this season with 18 of them.
Little dribbler on the right side. Odor comes in, flips it over to fielder. 1 out. Pujols advancing to third. Manager Angels are making a push to the postseason, and tickets for potential 2015 American League Wildcard and Division Series home games are on sale now. Purchase your tickets today online. Angels.com/postseason.
Well, you notice when C.J. Cron's going back into the dugout, he got a lot of high fives from the guys in that dugout. Even though it's not a good at bat necessarily for C.J. Cron, he advances Pujols in the scoring position. How important every run is going to be in this series, and especially here tonight.
David Freese greeted with some boos here in Texas. They don't think very highly of David Freese.
You don't think they'll chant MVP here?
No. Did a couple of phone interviews at pickoff over to third. Nothing happening. And was asked about David Freese and here in Texas and the welcome that he would receive. And I said, you know, if Nelson Cruz had just caught the ball in right, you guys wouldn't have to worry about David Freese, or you wouldn't have had to worry about David Freese.
Exactly. By the way, Torinos was set up in the left-handed batter's box in that pitch before. I'm not so sure they're going to go after him here.
3-0, and you've got Victorino on deck.
For me, green light here for Freese. And for David, look out over the plate. That's the pitch you can drive to right center field. One of the most important hitters in this lineup in the month of September has been David Freese.
Takes a strike, 3-1.
Boy, David would love that pitch back. 93-mile-an-hour fastball was out over the plate. That pitch he can drive a long way to right center field. See those numbers in September, 337 with 13 RBI.
Off speed, and he works the walk. So first and third with one out. And Victorino coming up. Shane hitting 227 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. 1 for 2 game last night with a walk and a single.
Conversation right away in the infield here. Odor said, wait, I got to join the crowd. It's a pretty good indication that they're concerned about Freeze and what he has done in the month of September. 3-1 curveball here in the second inning. Not necessarily willing to challenge him with a fastball.
Victorino 1 for 5 in his career against Derek Holland. Middle infield back looking for the double play ball. Napoli holding Freeze at first. Pujols the base runner at third. Shane takes a strike. Bottom part of the strike zone. Albert leading off this second inning with a double to the alley in left center. Twins have taken a 1-0 lead over Cleveland. That game's in the bottom of the 5th in Cleveland as they wrap their 4-game series. 1-1. And for today, that's really the only game that matters. Twins just behind the Angels. Twins will go home and start a 3-game series against Kansas City tomorrow night. No score. We're in the second with 1 out. Inside, 2-1. Outfield shallow with Victorino at the plate, and Shane pulls one to left field. This one chasing Josh Hamilton back. That is going to get over his head. No, he makes an unbelievable catch. Bangs into the wall. Pujols back to the bag to tag to throw to the plate. Safe at the plate. 1-0 Angels.
Well, you hope Josh is okay. He slammed into that wall very hard, going back and making an unbelievable play.
Terrific play by Hamilton. And it saves at least a second run.
I didn't think he had a shot at this baseball. Victorino turned on that. Look how far Hamilton has to go and slides hard into that wall. He's able to look exactly where he was as he got close to the warning track, reaches out and slams in the wall and controls the baseball. And then he still had to play at the plate. Alertly gets up ball in quickly to Andrews, and a close play at the plate.
Albert had to go back to tag. He was down the line. Once he saw Hamilton make the catch and go into the slide, had to race back to third base, touch the bag, and then sprint home. 1-0 Angels on the sac fly by Shane Victorino.
Yeah, Albert's got to be hanging right at that base because he's going to score anyhow. That ball one hops the wall. It'll be a lot closer than you wanted it to be. Good swing, though, by Victorino.
Chopper to short. Andrews is there. They'll go the short way, and the inning is over. The Angels get a run on the sac fly. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Angels.
last night. As usual, in that last road trip, the rookies have to wear their favorite clothes. Right next to Taylor Featherston, who at that point is the blonde, is Carlos Perez. Right next to him to his right, squirrels, a stewardess, and a penguin.
It's all yours, big guy.
Oh.
Go ahead and finish that one off. Mike Napoli leading things off. Starting first baseman. Batting fifth, Napoli.
I thought it was a Christmas Vacation
Yeah.
movie saying squirrel.
Yeah. Napoli, 225, 18 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Takes down and in. He's played some left field for Texas. He's over at first base tonight.
Been an adventure for him out there in left, but he's willing to do whatever it takes to get in the lineup, and that's what you've always loved about Mike Napoli.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Hamilton got a terrific round of applause by the Rangers fans as he came into the dugout after making that terrific catch. He doesn't make it 1-0, maybe 2-0. Inning continues. He's on deck. 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, popped him up. Long run for Giavotella and Crone. And CJ making the call on the catch, 1 away.
Well, Napoli can hit a majestic pop-up or home run. He's got that uppercut swing. Well, that's an unbelievable play by Hamilton to go back, keep your eye on the baseball, knowing you're getting that close to that wall. A tall wall there. One hops it, gets right up against the wall and holds on to that baseball.
And playing shallow, all 3 outfielders with Victorino at the plate playing shallow. Josh takes down and away.
That's one thing Josh always played, especially when we used to watch him here in Texas, a very shallow left field.
Drives this one out to deep left field toward the corner. Victorino racing over. Victorino leaps up. He can't get it. That's a fair ball. Ricochets away. Hamilton will stop at second. It's a 1-out double for Josh's 8th.
Almost had both left fielders make outstanding plays against each other in this game. Hamilton against Victorino, and Victorino almost against Hamilton on this one. And that hand out exactly where he's going to be towards the wall. Just a little bit over the glove. Didn't quite get that timing of the jump, it looked like, from that angle.
May have hit off the glove as well, a little piece of it. So tying run at second base, 1 out. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, at the plate. 255 this year, 7 home runs, 32 doubles, 2 triples, 60 runs batted in. He's changed his approach a little bit, adding a little leg kick to his swing, or prior to his swing. Able to drive the ball a little bit more. 7 home runs this year is a career high for him. He had 6 in his rookie campaign back in 09.
And 41 extra base hits this season.
He drives this one out to center. Traub racing back. Still going back. Ball has some carry. He'll make the catch. Hamilton late to tag. Gets the ball to Ibart. He'll get to third base.
Well,
Traub banged into the wall in center. Hopefully he's all right.
Well, this is a pretty good indication. This is early in the game how the fielders are going after the baseball. Hamilton goes into the wall. Trout goes into the wall. How important this game is for both teams. Play more shallow. They're very comfortable going back on the baseball. Makes a nice play in front of the wall. Making an outstanding play for Mike Trout. Eye on the baseball, knowing there's going to be contact with that wall. A step or two after you catch it, securing the baseball in the glove.
Ball's got some carry today. No south wind today where you get that jet stream, just legit. Rougned Odor at the plate. He'll bounce it over to first, and for the second straight inning, the Rangers get a man to third and leave him stranded there. We'll head to the third inning, 1-0 Angels. West State of Strong Fame just might see herself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Johnny Giavitello to lead things off with the Angels up 3-0. Nine 1-2 for the Halos here against Derek Holland. And he delivers a strike. 272 with 4 home runs and 46 runs batted in. 1 for 3 game yesterday, and his home run in the 6th inning put the Angels in the lead 4-3.
Good numbers against the Rangers in 11 games, 9 RBI, 4 doubles, 26 batting average. He's been an extra base hitting machine since coming back from the disabled list.
Sorry, Gary's never faced Holland. Down and in, 2-1. And that is ripped foul. Out in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Holland making his 10th start of the year, 3-3, 4.99 ERA, 52 in the 3rd innings, 56 hits, 35 strikeouts, 14 walks prior to tonight. Struck out the shine of the 1st, limited the damage, just 1 run in the 2nd.
A little bit below the strike zone and inside. Holland thought he hit the zone. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, but looking at Fox track, just below the strike zone and inside.
Payoff pitch. Dribbler toward 3rd. Beltry comes in, and that will just go foul. That is knowing your field right there.
That's exactly what I was going to say. When you see it in Anaheim down the line like that, pretty good chance it's going to stay fair. So waiting to see if that ball is going to go foul, especially on the grass there. You would think you're going to come in charge on that baseball. Seen a number of those over the years here at this ballpark. It was going to roll foul.
And this ballpark grows the grass really close to the line here. Both sides, 1st and 3rd. Another payoff pitch. Jammed is fouled off. Just getting their 1 run in the 2nd, and the sac fly by Victorino. That was just a fantastic play by Hamilton in left field.
A dangerous play too for Josh, especially going into that wall like he did.
Right onto the knees on that warning track.
He's had his knee cleaned up.
Just got a piece of it. Fouls it back.
He was playing extremely shallow. Full extension on that play at the very end of his glove to be able to secure that when he slammed into the wall. Very impressive. Not only the knee, but also his side and back.
Another payoff. Another foul. Slow breaking ball there.
Pretty tough pitch to make contact with also. Good at bat working here for Giavitello. He's had some very good at bats since coming back from the disabled list.
And he works the walk. Holland's got that spot to a right-handed batter locked down with down and in pitch. It worked really well in that 1st inning.
Got a couple strikeouts in that pitch against right-handed batters, and even the same spot against Calhoun away.
Second walk issued by Holland to go with a 3 punch out. So here's Ibar. 0 for 1. Good numbers in his career against Derek.
Not a bad time to push a bunt down the first baseline either now here for Ibar. Especially with lefty on the mound, he's going to fall towards third base side of the pitching mound. Again, Napa, you have to hold on Giavotella, opening up that right side of the infield for a push bunt.
Giavotella, 2 stolen bases, been caught once. Chirinos does a nice job behind the plate. Quick pitch action, it looked like. A slide step as well, or run.
I was talking to Mike Scioscia about, can you run against Derek Holland? He said before he used a lot more of those slide steps like we just saw there, and he has a good move, but now he's trying to make sure he maintains the strength in his shoulder. He's avoided that slide step just to make sure he doesn't injure that shoulder being too quick to the plate.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Another slide step.
Giavotella, a leadoff walk, standing at first base. Holland, a 25th round pick by Texas in 06 out of Wallace State Community College in Alabama. Chop it back up the middle. Odor near the bag, has it, touches the base, fires to first, a double play. Twin killing goes 6-3. Pardon me, 4-3. 2 outs.
Wise decision by Holland. He knew that ground ball, knowing where his middle infield was going to be at. Lets that baseball go by him. And then right at Odor. Able to feel this step right on the base. Lead a 4-3 double play rather easily. Giavotella may have to get down to that slide a little bit quicker. Dangerous play.
That's an old school throw by a second baseman there. Dropping the arm down to make sure that that base runner gets down quickly.
I remember Manny Trio was one of the best at doing that. If you didn't slide, you're going to be wearing that baseball.
Cole struck out at the first, takes a strike here to start off his 3rd inning plate appearance. He's not missing by much. And again, he's staying on that outside part of the plate to lefties and to righties.
I watched his last few starts. He hasn't really been consistent down in that part of the strike zone. Tonight he has.
Cued foul. 1-2.
He's been a guy that's pitched some big games throughout his career for the Rangers and been very good in those big games.
"13 games in the postseason his career. 4 starts, 3-0. 1-2 now. Cole looked like he went around, and he did. Cedarstrom brings him up. And the Angels are down here in the 3rd, right to the bottom of the inning. 9-1-2 coming up for Texas, with the Angels up 1-0. Pacific with a doubleheader on FS1 as 23rd ranked West Virginia takes on 15th ranked Oklahoma, followed by K-State battling 20th ranked Oklahoma State. Then Arizona State takes on 7th ranked UCLA on Fox, at 22nd ranked Michigan squares off against Maryland on the Big Ten Network.
Serious games are UCLA.
Oh, you going to clap, are you?
Yeah.
Speaking of Oklahoma State, Andrew Heaney's on the mound to start the third inning. Chirinos, DeShields, and Chu for Texas. Robinson Chirinos, the catcher, looks at his strike. .230 average, 10 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Playing in his 76th ball game.
Pretty good pitch. Just a little bit off the inside corner. Fastball away, fastball in from Andrew Heaney. So he's going to throw a changeup here.
One ball, two strikes.
That's a great spot, Victor, for that changeup, especially after back-to-back fastballs, both sides of the plate.
Andrew's not too far away from where he grew up in Oklahoma City. One-two now. Overthrown slider. Even to count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Notice there when Carlos Perez puts down those signs as little stickers on his fingernails, so it's more easy, more comfortable, I should say, for Andrew Heaney to read the signs. Gonna go with a slider now.
Just fouled it. Tried to hold up the swing, got a piece of it. Heaney coming into this start and combined to throw 179 and 2/3 innings this year, and that's between the AAA and the major leagues. By far the most innings he's thrown at the point of his professional career. That one just missed in. Full count. We're starting to see some pitchers, not just as far as the teams the Angels are playing or the Angels themselves, throughout Major League Baseball, where starters that you could normally count on faltering late. Chirinos fouling it out.
I wonder how much it comes into play where there's always somebody asking him about that.
Do you think psychologically affect those guys?
There's no question. Because a lot of times you'll go in and say, well, this is the most pitches you've ever thrown, the most innings you've ever thrown in the season, and all of a sudden it gets in your mind, well, maybe that's why I'm missing spots instead of just being focused on your mechanics.
Another foul back.
Because it's pretty much a negative thought being asked to you. They're basically saying, amount of innings you're throwing, your stuff doesn't look as good as it did early in the season. So that negativity creeps into your mind.
More so with young guys,
yes,
versus the veteran guys.
No question.
Bouncer back up the middle to lead off single for Chirinos. Second hit allowed by Heaney. Back to the top of the order we go with Delino DeShields coming to the plate. Of those two games, the only one that really matters is Minnesota. They lead Cleveland 1-0. The Yankees have the first wild card spot, and the Angels 3 back at them with 4 to play.
Yeah, Cleveland had first and third and fifth with 1 out, did not score. Now they have a man on first again in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Minnesota has pitched very well in that series against Cleveland.
DeShields showing bunt, takes inside. The Twins a game behind the Angels for that second wild card spot. Delino drew a walk in the first inning, was stranded at third. Freeze playing in over at third base. Pops the bunt up, and this one will fall foul. Closest guy to it, Carlos Perez. Valiant effort, unable to come up with it. So the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. A job that Carlos has done behind the plate for the Angels all season long. And when he's been given the bulk of the playing time, seems like he got better and better. as the month of September progressed.
Mike Scioscia's really liked what he has done as far as handling the pitching staff also.
1-1. Off speed. Fouled. More of a run and hit there. Just kind of a late start for Torino. It's got to be a late start if you're going to do that with a lefty on the mound.
That's why it's difficult to put a hit and run on with a left-handed pitcher. You're forcing, you're making sure as a hitter you have to make contact, because if you don't, very easy for the catcher to throw out the runner.
Is this automatic to throw to first right now?
Or step off.
That one didn't count.
I just think in terms of, I'm going to try to get a punch out right here and see if we get a strike him out, throw him out. If you're going to try that again.
Doesn't go. 1-2. Check to swing. Trino's thought about it as that ball hit the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down swinging. Good off speed pitch. First strikeout of the night for Heaney. In Cleveland, that's where the Indians are hosting the Minnesota Twins, the final game of that series. That is Perez. 2-run home run. Straightaway center. That was on a line.
Yeah, exactly. Pitcher knew he hit that well.
So Indians up 2-1. Bottom of the 7th. Cleveland still batting. They took exception, the Twins did, to a bat flip last night.
At this point in the season, you can't worry about those
No.
things.
Won't soon be forgotten, though.
No, he can remember that next year.
Shin-Soo at the plate. Takes a breaking ball low. Chu bounced one back to the mound in his first inning at bat. 0 for 1. During his bat, mentioned how good he has been in the second half of the season. He's at .348 with 10 home runs. He's driven home 41. He's chipped in 16 doubles, all since the All-Star break. Breaking pitch, roll to second. Giavotella flips it over to Ibar for 1. Relay back to first in time, a double play. 3 in the books here in Arlington. The Angels with a 1-0 lead. Top of the 4th inning, Mike Trout to lead things off for the Angels against Derek Holland. It's a 1-0 Angels lead. Trout struck out in the first, so he's 0 for 1. One of 4 strikeouts for Holland. He's issued 2 walks. He's allowed 1 hit. First one upstairs.
It's those good numbers for Trout against Holland. Overall, 18 career home runs against the Rangers for Trout.
Off speed, drops in there for a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Holland with 54 pitches, 32 of it strikes.
So far in this game for Holland, his breaking pitches have been very sharp and crisp. Something he has not had working for him in his last 4 starts.
2 balls and a strike. That's the last start for Derek was against Houston. But overall, it was 2 starts against Houston, 2 starts against Seattle. That's always difficult. Broken bat bouncer toward the middle. The barrel goes flying into the seats. Trout retired. Round number 1. That made it to the front row of seats to the left of Gary DiSarcina. Nobody got hurt there, so that's a good thing.
Everyone seems to be okay with some smiles.
It's a pretty good souvenir.
Got in on the hands of Trout. Fastball at 92 off the inside corner. Trying to keep Trout from getting the barrel of the bat on the baseball. That's why he's pitching inside.
Pujols gets jammed and bounces one over to Andrews. 2 down.
See how quickly Trout tried to bring his hands in but could not do so, and that fastball in, and he shatters the bat. Holland on Mike Trout. It's the handle left. See where the bat went. How far that went. How strong Trout is to be able to have that barrel of the bat go that far.
C.J. Cron looks at a strike.
C.J. Cron with 18 RBI versus the Rangers this year. Don Baylor and G.A. Garrett Anderson with 21. That's against one opponent in a single season, which is a record. It's an MVP season for Don Baylor, 1979. That's ownage, don't you think? 21 RBIs against a team in one season.
He pulls this one to the left side. Beltre cuts it off, spins around. 3 ground ball outs thrown by Derek Holland. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th with the Angels leading at 1-0. Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. By the Dodge Charger with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. and by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. Middle part of the order for the Texas Rangers here in the bottom of the fourth. The Angels up 1-0. It'll be Beltre, Fielder, and Napoli to face Andrew Heaney. Picked up his first strikeout last inning. Allowed 2 hits. He's also walked 1. Beltre grounded out in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. One ball, 1 strike. The other side, Derek Holland seems to have leveled out after a little bit of a hiccup in the second inning. He just got their run. Pujols leadoff double. Faced 3 batters in the third, retired the side in order in the fourth. 2 balls, 1 strike. Final 4 of the regular season here. Just missed low. 3-1. Texas has had its leadoff man reach in 2 of the first 3 innings. It walked into Shields to start the ball game at the bottom of the first. Chirinos with a single last inning. And make that 3 of 4. So walk to Beltre starts things off for Texas here in the fourth. As the annual Angels 5K and Fun Run presented by St. Joseph Hoag Health will take place April 9, 2016. The first 5,000 registered participants will receive a T-shirt, commemorative medal, and a 2016 game ticket. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Angels Baseball Foundation. Registration will open in November. For more info, go to angels.com/5K.
So there's numbers for Beltre against the Angels this year. 170 batting average. He walked them. And they're good career numbers. 34 career home runs with 126 RBI for Beltre against the Angels.
Heaney, for the most part this year, has had good control at the major league level. He's walked 2 tonight. And that one's just off the plate. 2-0.
Very good as far as getting double plays. He's got 9 turned behind him this year.
Down 1 to end the third inning. His season high in walks 3. That was against the Dodgers on the 8th. Just in the 4th inning. 2 balls, no strikes on Prince Fielder. Bouncer to the right side. Giavotella goes to second for 1. They have some time to turn the double play, and they do. 2 down.
Good job. You see Eric pointing at Giavotella under control with that throw. Some good plays in this game for Johnny. The double plays turn, a ground ball early in the game in which he got in front of it well. The pivot, the throw, the perfect throw, and the height allows Ibar to get out of the way of the slide from Beltre to complete a 4-6-3 double play.
Veteran move, too, by Beltre. If you watch that angle again where he is going, he takes kind of a roundabout way to second base to kind of get in the line of that throw.
Yeah, hoping that hits him in the back at that point.
Hands go up in the slide. As Napoli takes outside. That's the one thing about Adrian Beltre, man. He just knows how to play the game. Fun to watch. Not fun when he's beating your team down. But plays the game the right way.
Yeah, a lot of times, we all talk about players being great, and sometimes they haven't really earned it at that point. Beltre has earned that in every aspect of the game for Beltre, a great player.
And again, Heaney falls behind here at 3-0. The old hypothetical, what could have been had Adrian signed with the Angels.
If you're Heaney right now, be very careful grooving a fastball here to Napoli.
Popped out his first time up, and there's a second walk. 3rd of the ball game. Second this inning, 3rd of the game. Well, back to that Beltre slide. Watch the angles. Here Johnny's out.
He knows exactly where Johnny Giavotella is going to have to try to throw this baseball. He's at that angle, and he's going to throw that hand out. He almost made contact with that baseball. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all part of that baseball player's smart instincts that Beltre has. But a nice job by Giavotella and Ibar to complete that double play.
Hamilton rolls this one over to first. Crone's got it. He'll take it himself. He got him on an off-speed pitch, and the inning is over. 4 in the books here in Arlington. 1-0 Angels.
On this date, 54 years ago today, Roger Maris hit his 61st home run, breaking Babe Ruth's 1927 single-season record as far as home runs. This date, 1961, hit his 61st home run. Mickey Mantle, I think, hit 54 also.
Freeze, Victorino, Perez for the Angels here in the 5th. David worked a walk in the 2nd, one of 2 issued by Holland. Down and in. Game in Cleveland is now tied at 2 in the top of the 8th inning. Twins still batting with a man in scoring position. Houston off tonight. 3 balls, 1 strike. 4 punch outs for Holland with the 2 walks. And just 1 hit. That was the leadoff double to Pujols in the 2nd.
Last at bat on a 3-1 pitch to Freeze. He threw him a breaking ball, ended up walking him. Same count again.
Hits this one toward short of 1 hopper. Elvis has it. 1 down. Again, in off the plate, jamming right-handed batters.
Usually the pitch if Freeze lets go. He likes that pitch out over the plate, although he did hit a home run, a mammoth home run, on a pitch upstairs in the inner half of the plate yesterday.
6 in a row retired by Holland since issuing the leadoff walk in the 3rd inning. And Victorino will step up. Robbed of extra bases by Josh Hamilton. Did get a sac fly and an RBI. 7th run batted in. The only scoring play of this game. 1-1. Tomorrow night, Jared Weaver's on the mound. All clear to go tomorrow. He'll be facing off against Martin Perez, another left-hander for the Angels. This one lined to right center field. There's a base hit. To Shields over to cut it off. Does so. Shane will stop at first with a 1-out single.
Went off the bat. I thought that might have been a chance for Victorino to get a double, but the Shields at good speed in center field cut that off at a good angle to prevent that from happening.
So man off for Carlos. Bounced into a fielder's choice that ended the 2nd. Carlos came in batting .256 with 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Picked up his 4th home run last night. Part of a 3-hit game. Ended up going 3 for 4 with 2 singles and that solo shot. Victorino this season with 7 stolen bases. 2 have come at the Angels. He's not been caught yet.
Texas is sensing that the Angels may try to push the envelope here.
A couple of former teammates talking to each other.
Won a world championship together. Boston. So quite a few slide steps tonight. And there's been a man on first base.
Now, is that just a product of comfort zone? Did you figure that out in the bullpen before you bring it out to the field?
Yeah, that's something he used to do quite a bit. He hasn't done it of late because he doesn't feel like he has that good zip on the fastball. But tonight he does, and he's back to his old self. Very difficult to get a read against. Learned that a lot from Cliff Lee when he was here with the Rangers. Utilized the slide step. Cliff Lee didn't really have a great move, but he was very quick to the plate with his slide step.
Incredibly agile pitcher on the mound, Cliff Lee. Could field his position. Could swing the bat a little bit. One out single. Second hit for the Angels. That's Victorino over at first. Johnny Giavotella, ninth place hitters on deck. Inside. Holland has thrown one double play ball. That was in the third inning. It was Eric Ibar that hit it.
Victorino moving around there towards, I think he's going to try to steal second base. He wasn't in position to try to do so. He just wants to see if he can distract Derek Holland. Maybe make a mistake here to Carlos Perez, and a pretty good fastball count.
2-1. Way outside. 3-1.
See, sometimes just the threat of a stolen base will throw your timing off as a pitcher. And he's throwing some pitches well out of the strike zone against Perez right now.
It would seem that it would alter your slide step a little bit.
Yes. You've already got him close enough to the base if you're Derek Holland. You don't even have to worry about a slide step. You want to make sure you keep balance.
3-1. Bouncer. Foul. Victorino's on the move there. Nice play. She didn't even know about it. Oh, what a reaction. I love it. He's like, yeah, you know.
And a smooch.
It's just Thursday.
Yeah.
My bad. Lucky lady. Full count with one out. So Victorino decides to take off again. Shane takes off, and it is ball 4. They throw down, but it doesn't matter.
And that pitch off the inside corner. Holland was wondering exactly where that was. He clearly missed.
It's the third walk issued by Holland, so first and second with one out, and Giavotella coming up.
Perfect guy to have up in these spots. He's been very good producing runs.
Johnny walked in the third inning.
Look at that batting average. 444 since his return. The DL 8 for 18.
Swings first pitch and hits one out to right. Playable for Chu. 2 down. Nobody's advancing. Johnny hacking at that first pitch. Makes the second out here in the 5th inning. Back to the top of the order now with Eric Ibar coming up.
Giavotella got a little bit long on that swing. When he's going well in those certain spots of the game, it's more of a compact, short swing.
Eric tonight has struggled against Holland. He struck you out in the first inning, ground into a double play that went 4-3 in the third inning. Kind of a defensive swing, too. Hit that ground ball. Victorino at second and Perez at first. Eric swinging first pitch, bounces it foul. There's that bottom part of that strike zone for Holland.
Easy to throw that fastball there or slider there, especially to Eric Ibar. There's a lot of room out in left center field. If he stays back on the baseball, he can hit that ball, especially how that ball carries and rolls in the right center field. That should be able to score 2 runs.
The one from Holland. Off speed, and it's fouled at the plate. They've gotten Chirinos on the hand, the throwing hand.
Cole would love to get an opportunity to get in the bat in this inning. That's what Eric Ibar, especially being behind 0-2, is to try to put the ball in play. Especially more likely we'll see a slider down and in.
And Ibar takes a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Right at the bottom of the 5th inning, it's 1-0 Angels. Reproduce or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP.
And then we were talking about that foul ball by the fan who made a nice play on the base, brought his glove. His wife was trying to get out of the way. It was at that point, looking in there, smile. What a play. Around him with the smiles, Dr. Millhouse right in front of him. He was happy he made the play.
Yeah. She took the baseball and she put it in her purse. She said, "Thank you, that a boy. Make sure to take out the garbage tomorrow."
Like, I had no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
That's great. One ball, one strike, and Elvis Andrus. Bottom third of the order for Texas. Andrus, Odor, and Chirinos. 57th pitch thrown by Heaney. Trying to bunt his way on. They asked if he pulled the bat back, and he did. So it's 2 balls in his strike. Elvis 0 for 1. He drove one out to the warning track at straightaway center field, tracked down by Trout. That was in the 2nd inning.
Good spot. Paints that outside corner. Andrew Heaney, even up the count.
Missed outside. Full count. His command was spotty in the 4th inning, walking 2 batters. Here's the 3-2 now. Elvis pulls on the left to lead off single. Up in the zone. And now you've got to deal with Andrus and his speed. 21 stolen bases this year at first base with Odor coming up.
And Odor swung at the first pitch last time against Heaney.
The second baseman, Ruben
Time is called. Odor grounded out on an off-speed pitch his first time up, showing bunt. Again, Andrew falls behind here. 1 ball, no strikes. 62 pitches, 31 balls, 31 strikes for Heaney. 3 walks, that matches a season high. 1 strikeout. Hit by Andrews, the 3rd hit for Texas. He pops this one up left side. David Freese near the bag. 1 out. Fan season seat deposits for the 2016 season now being accepted. Place your deposit now to receive priority for next season. For more info and to place your deposit, call 888-796-HALO or just go to angels.com/season seats.
This looks like Andrews is thinking about running at some point, maybe going on the first pitch. Perez has thrown out a little over 30% of would-be base stealers. Very good season for Carlos Perez.
If he wanted to go, Chirino's the guy at the plate that handles the bat well. Had a single to lead off the 3rd.
Chirinos has rolled into 4 double plays. Cutting across this changeup there. That changeup by design is supposed to stay on the outer part of the plate and down. That ended up going down and in to a right-handed batter.
Snap throw to first base, and safe is the call at first. That's Barksdale, the first base umpire.
Quickly on the back pick. He has 2 pickoffs this year. Carlos Perez. Really trying to catch it and apply the tag quickly. Real close, but got the hand in. Astros always try to go that back part of the base. A longer tag, as you can see, for the first baseman by going to that back part of the base.
Another 2-0 count for Heaney. Goes back in there, a high strike.
Change up to boot.
Yeah, those have been few and far between as far as Quinn Walcott calling those as strikes, and dangerous, as you pointed out.
Potential count to do something if you're the Rangers. A 2-1 count.
Top of the order, DeShields on deck. Helped out a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's back-to-back elevated pitches. One a change-up, that a fastball. We talked about it in my go-tos early in the game, that arm side type fastball, especially right-handed batters down in the strike zone away.
Time is called at the plate. Watching Andrews as he takes his lead over at first base, kind of taking those little steps, trying to time Heaney, it seems like, trying to figure out if he could find a good time to go. Takes off. Break a pitch inside and throw down to second, down to time. So Andrews picks up his 22nd stolen base.
Almost an impossible play as a catcher to catch that and throw, but what a play Carlos did is to catch this baseball. Well in off the plate, and a quick release. Catch and throw for Perez. Overthrown breaking ball. Made a lot closer than I thought he'd even have a chance at.
I mean, Andrews, just the first movement from Andrew Heaney, he took off, had a huge jump.
If you guess right, you're going to be successful no matter who's behind the plate.
Tying run in scoring position, and a 3-2 count on Robinson Chirinos. Payoff pitch, and he walked it. Fourth walk now issued by Heaney. Another off-speed pitch, too.
Of course, you're going to go out to talk to Heaney.
I get some movement going at the bullpen as well.
Same thing. Especially the importance of this game. He's thrown the ball well. He's made some pitches when he's had to. Six to 9 pitches. He's actually thrown one more out of the strike zone than he has in the strike zone at this point for Heaney. 4 walks is 1 strikeout. Most important number up there is 0 by the runs so far for Heaney.
4 walks is a new career high for him. We're just in the 5th inning with 1 out. Delano DeShields, very good speed. Leadoff man, walked the first, struck out in the 3rd. Andrews at second and Chirinos at first base. And there's a fastball for a strike.
Extremely difficult to double up. He's only grounded into 1 double play this season.
It seems like over the last couple of innings, the fastball is something that he's gotten away from, trying to throw more off-speed pitches, which I understand, trying to keep a potent offense off balance. Just missed. Even it's a count of 1-1 and score in Cleveland. Top of the 9th, tied at 2. Minnesota game behind the Angels for that second wild card spot. They will head home, take on the Kansas City Royals beginning tomorrow night. Houston idle tonight. Take on the Arizona Diamondbacks at Chase Field in Phoenix tomorrow night. One pitch down and in. Nobody loosening for the Angels either. Don't know if it's a comfort thing for Heaney, but just last couple of innings, not as aggressive as we saw him early on. This one line to left center. There's the base hit. It'll tie the game. Chirinos on his way to 3rd. DeShields on his way to 2nd, and he is in there with an RBI double. Again, you start living on the edge by putting leadoff men on board. 4 out of the first 5 innings. And he had been able to work out of trouble. But DeShields cashes in a run, and Texas looking for more.
He stayed upstairs, right around belt high, and he stayed back on it well. Shields done a nice job, especially as the season has progressed, of hitting off-speed pitch as well, and he certainly did there. 22nd double.
Still nobody loosening for the Angels. 73 pitches. Second place hitter and Shin-Soo Choo coming to the plate. Chirinos at 3rd base, DeShields at 2nd. A 1-1 tie here in the 5th. Infield in for the Angels. Cheer tonight. Bouncer back to the mound. And he's grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. That was in the 3rd. Perhaps the Rangers' top hitter of late takes a fastball for a strike. Upper part of the strike zone.
Where you got to reach back as a pitcher and think in terms of, I have to get a punch out.
Time is called. Something behind home plate. It's a camera or a beer bottle or something. But second base umpire Eric Cooper calling time. And Walcott to make a change. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball.
See, that breaking ball, you get a chance to get someone to swing on it because it starts at least at the middle of the plate and then breaks away. Last few breaking balls for Andrew, he's overthrown and starting on the corner, so it ends up well off the inside corner or outside corner.
Breaking pitch. Did he go? No, says Gary Cederstrom.
That was pretty close.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
See if he indeed held up on this one. It's pretty close. Could have gone either way.
Went back to that breaking ball. Looked like it caught the bottom part of the zone. Doesn't get the call. 2-2 now.
That was a pretty good pitch. Good sharp break to it. And it's when it's crossing the front of the plate, not where the catcher catches it. Lower part of the strike zone according to our Fox tracks. Get called. So right now, our coach is going to be going and calling down to the bullpen. Quick conversation with Mike Scioscia.
Two now. Breaking ball. That caught the inside corner.
That's a strike.
Full count.
You didn't get that outside part of the plate, and now you don't get the inside part of the plate. And he left it right there for.
Chu thought he was punched out.
Well, we talked about this crew certainly favors the hitter.
Full count, 1 out. Runners at second and third in a tie ball game. Beltre on deck. The payoff pitch, and Chu lays off, and they're loaded for Beltre. 5th walk issued by Andrew Heaney. And just now, the Angels start to get some action in their bullpen. Jose Alvarez, the lefty. Cam Bedrosian, the right-hander. They're on their feet at the lower level here at Globe Life Park. A leadoff single by Elvis Andrus started off this rally. DeShields tied it up with an RBI double. And now Andrew Heaney, no wiggle room, no place to put him. Here's the first one to Beltre. It's in there for a strike. Adrian grounded out in the first, walked in the 4th.
Certainly a guy that you can get a ground ball double play with. Pretty good numbers with the bases loaded. He's grounded into 18 double plays.
Chirinos at third, DeShields at second, and Chu at first. Decent speed at third base, good speed on the trail runners at second and first, respectively. Outfield playing in. Fastball. This is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels took the early lead. A sac fly by Victorino the second. And he has kept things in check until here in the 5th inning. Now the 1-1 to Beltre. That's low, 2-1. With each passing batter, with each pitch, it seems like Ranger hitters tracking Andrew Heaney much, much better. Now the 3rd time around the order. Two-one pitch. Fouls it off, 2-2.
Late on that fastball, though. That was right down the heart of the plate.
Minnesota has scored a run at the top of the 9th inning. They lead Cleveland now 3-2 and still batting.
Here's numbers as far as RBI. It's about 29 for Beltre. Big moment right here for the Angels and Andrew Heaney.
2-2 on the way. This one's hooked to left. That'll head toward the corner. 2 runs in for sure. Heading to third is Shin-Soo Choo. He's being waved in. The relay to the plate is cut off. A bases clearing double. And the Rangers have opened it up here in the 5th.
Slider down and went down and got it. Good piece of hitting. That pitch was out of the strike zone. But when you're swinging the bat as well as he is at this point for Beltre, you're comfortable going and getting that pitch down and in.
Here comes Mike Scioscia. And he's going to make a move here. Perhaps a bat or two late. Andrew Heaney just didn't have it command-wise in the 4th inning. Got out of it. Certainly didn't have it here command-wise in the 5th, and it kind of blows up on the Angels. 4 runs in. Texas still batting. They lead it 4-1.
And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Texas up 4-1 as they still bat here the 5th inning with 1 out. Bases clearing double by Adrian Beltre. And Jose Alvarez comes in. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out. He'll face Fielder. 62nd game for Alvarez. 4-3 mark at a 3.62 ERA. He went 1/3 of an inning in yesterday's ball game. First pitch swinging, and that's fouled off. Fielder 0 for 2, a ground ball to second, and a double play ball.
Really not the usual when you see Andrew Heaney on the mound as far as the walk total. Although that should not have been a walk to Cincinnati to Choo. He had 2 strikes in the strike zone when he had a 1-2 count against him. Did not get the call.
Ground ball to second. Giavotella. Plenty of time. 2 down. Beltre advances to third. So Napoli will come up here. 8th man to bat for Texas here in the 5th.
They won't walk him here and face Hamilton.
Napoli 0 for 1 with a pop-up and a walk. He's going to pick up his 2nd walk. This one the intentional kind.
Minnesota now with a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the ninth inning in Cleveland.
And Kevin Jepson on to close it out for the Twins. And there's ball 4. The 4 1/3 for Heaney tonight. His second shortest outing of the year. Had the August 22nd start against Toronto when he went 3 1/3. Now Alvarez to face Hamilton here, trying to keep it a 3-run deficit. We're in the 5th. 2 outs and runners at the corners. First one to Josh is down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Easy to go back and say it. Shin-Soo Choo should have been punched out. It's been a tight zone the entire game on both sides. Hamilton fouls it back. Again, one of those games in which we haven't seen from Andrew, where he wasn't quite 100% sharp with all of his pitches. 1-1 now. 1-2.
So you get through this inning, no more damage. The Angels have come back a number of times during this stretch.
And in this ballpark, too. They've been very, very good since last July in this ballpark.
So offensively, so she's going through a series of signs, especially now with a 1-2 count, just in case Napoli would start to go and then stop, try to get in a rundown. Not a lot of speed on either corner of this infield with Napoli and Beltran, though.
Hamilton doubled in the second and grounded out in the 4th. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him to swing and miss. And the inning is over. But Texas bats around. They score 4 runs. We will head to the 6th inning. The Angels have the heart of the order coming up. Down 4-1. Tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag West Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the 6th inning, Texas leads it 4-1. The Angels have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols here to face Derek Holland. 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Holland's allowed just 2 hits. Double by Pujols in the second, a single by Victorino in the 5th.
And what we've seen and what we even talked about in the last homestand for the Angels, they respond right back after they give up some runs.
Holland's first pitch, a fastball for a strike. Cole's gone down swinging twice. He's 0 for 2. 5 hits for Texas, 2 for the Angels. Caught the inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes.
It's one of those borderline pitches that Heaney didn't get called his way, but Derek Holland got called his way. And that's why there's certainly some conversation in the dugout,
right.
and Cole moving out of the batter's box.
And Quinn Walcott yelling at somebody in the dugout, maybe Sosha.
Well, all you want is a consistent strike zone, even if it's a tight strike zone, consistent.
One and 2. Five innings for Holland. He's thrown 82 pitches. The 5 strikeouts he's picked up have been in the top third of the order. Bar Calhoun, Trout. This one fouled off.
And a key for this game. We talked about the need for the offense. Going to a pinball wizard. Really got to put together, string some hits together here in this inning to get back right in this game after Texas scoring 4 in the bottom of the 5th.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Twins close it out against Cleveland. Cole strikes out swinging. 1 down. Tied him up with that pitch in off the plate. Following Cleveland 4-2. Jepson closes it out. So a loss by the Angels tonight. And the Twins and the Angels would be tied behind the Astros. And 1 game back.
Setting up potentially things could end up with a 3-way tie for a play-in game to play the Yankees in the wild card game.
You've got it all figured out, right? How that would occur?
Oh, yeah.
Coin flips.
The Angels have won that coin flip as far as some options they have if it is a 3-way tie.
Trout shoots one out toward center field. And the Shields will come in. 2 down. Mike 0 for 3 tonight. Albert 1 for 2. He doubled and scored in the second and grounded out in the 4th. A win tonight by Texas. The Angels have done as far as the West is concerned. And they will go into tomorrow night's game, depending on what happens here. If they hold with a 3-game advantage over Houston. And Pujols gets into one out to deep left field. Josh racing back, pulls up. That is gone. It sneaks out over the wall. Just got out for Albert Pujols. And that is his 39th of the season, and that makes it a 4-2 Ranger lead.
92nd RBI. Showed him in the opening the numbers he's had against Texas, the power numbers. It's a big home run, especially with 2 quick outs for Derek Holland. He'll hook that one out in a left field corner. He's 4 now behind Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson as far as the all-time list in home runs. Talked about how resilient this team is. That's a huge home run.
Crono for 2. He's grounded out twice. Once to second and once to third. This one fouled off to the right. 1-2. Rangers in the bottom of the 6th inning have the bottom third of the order, the same bottom third that started off the 5th inning rally for them. Crow hits a towering fly ball to left.
Well, he just missed that one.
Hamilton waiting for the rainmaker, makes the catch, and the Angels are done here in the 6th. They do get one back on the home run by Albert, his 39th of the season. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, Halos down 4-2.
Great job of bringing his hands inside of that baseball to get the barrel to hit that one out to left field. 39th of the season.
The bottom third of the order coming up. Elvis Anderson lead things off. Hey, stay tuned later tonight on the postgame show for the Business of Sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Fiat South Bay. Cam Bedrosian takes over on the mound. 33rd game this year, 1-0 record of 4.96 ERA, 17 walks, 33 strikeouts. Cam did not pitch in yesterday's game, one third of an inning Tuesday night. The first one's outside to Elvis Andrews. Andrews is the one who led off the 5th inning with a base hit. Scored one of the 4 runs. Texas the advantage. He lines this one to center. Angels have had troubles tonight retiring that leadoff man. Make that 5 of the 6 innings tonight they've reached. Odor 0 for 2.
Already with a stolen base in this game. Andrews, I believe he's going to be going again early.
One ball, no strikes on Odor. Grounded out to first in the 2nd inning. Popped out to Freeze in the 5th. Talking about the potential 3-way tie situation. Should it happen, it would delay the wild card game until Wednesday, because you'd have to play the tiebreaker games Monday and Tuesday. You talked about having to have your work cut out for you in those scenarios, because that one team could play Monday, win, play Tuesday, win, go to New York and play the wild card on Wednesday, win that, they'd play Thursday.
Yeah, you've already used your
series,
top 3 starters in your rotation.
Yeah.
But at that point, you don't care.
Yeah. 2 balls and 1 strike. And every game on the last game of the season on Sunday will start at 3 p.m. Pacific. So here it'll be 2 o'clock. West Coast, noon. They'll all go off simultaneously. First time that's happened. Something that Tony Petitti, the man who ran Major League Baseball Network, also now joined Rob Manfred in the commissioner's office, instituted.
It's a good decision.
Andrews with a big lead at first. Lindor fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees leading Boston 4-1 at the bottom of the 8th. They're looking for their franchise 10,000th win in their franchise.
A lot of wins, a lot of world championships.
The door fouls it back. Andrew Heaney ended up going 4 1/3, charged with the 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 strikeout, had 5 walks. Alvarez ends up working 2/3 of an inning. 1 walk, it was intentional and a punch out. Cardinals with 2 runs, 3 hits, have stranded 3. Texas 4 runs, 6 hits, left 5 on base. Albert with 2 of the 3 hits, a double in the 2nd, a home run in the 6th inning.
It looked like he was leaning. Brewers doing a nice job as far as holding the baseball. Quick move over to first base. Trying to make sure Andrews is stopped. These runners don't like to try to steal a base if they're forced to stop.
Lifted on the third base side. This one will drift into the seats. Another quick throw, a quick tag by Crow, but Andrews gets the hand back there. This one out toward left center field. Trout moving over. Andrews will tag and stay at first base. 1 down.
Stayed away. Majority of that at bat. A lot of high fastballs. Let's get that fly out to center field.
So 1 out, 1 on, and Robinson Chirinos coming to the plate. He singled in the 3rd inning, walked and scored in the 5th. Good fastball, 0-1. Halos in the 7th will have Freese, Victorino, and Perez to face Derek Collins, which is 61 pitches. Probably 94 pitches. Hadn't caught up in the inning.
I was going to say I didn't realize he was that efficient.
That's serious dealing right there. Andrews goes back in, standing up.
It's Greg Maddux-like dealing there with pitch count.
6 strikeouts and 3 walks for Holland. And from that point forward, it doesn't get any easier, too. Bullpen for Texas has been very good, especially from the second half on.
It's a great pitch again. Right on the outside corner. Fastball, paints the corner, strike according to our Fox tracks. You always could tell a catcher's reaction. When he keeps that glove there with the baseball in it for a while to get the home plate umpire a better look, he feels he executed that pitch very well.
Andrews takes off. The pitch is a strike to throw down to second. A good one, but Andrews gets the hand in. A stolen base, his second of the ballgame. Really good throw by Carlos Perez.
Social might take a look back and see if they did get him or not. He's looking in at Dean Weeble. Thought he got his hand in. Got his hand in for sure.
Kept the hand on there and hooked the foot for good measure.
With the 2 stolen bases tonight, Andrews 42 stolen bases and 47 attempts against the Angels in his career.
1-2 pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Perez. A 2-ball, 2-strike count now.
Anticipating a breaking ball in the dirt. Keeps that in front of him very well. Top play for Carlos Perez. He's been solid defensively.
Halos have double barrel action going in their bullpen. Cesar Ramos and Ana Salas getting ready. Torino strikes out swinging. 2 down.
Fastball upstairs at 94. Cam Drozian. Late movement. Above the belt, just below the letters, very difficult to catch up to.
Quick conversation here. Carlos Bedrosian. Giavatello joining in. DeShields has been on board twice. He walked in the first inning. Struck out in the third and a doubled homer run and scored himself in the 5th. Double for DeShields, his 22nd. The RBI is 36th. Missed down low. Taylor's runs in the 2nd and 6th inning, all 4 for Texas in the bottom of the 5th. Two balls and no strikes. Last batter for Bedrosian with Chu on deck, you would think. And Ramos ready to go. Three and 0.
Muscling up those last 2 fastballs.
Another conversation.
Exactly. Bring him down in the strike zone now.
3-0 count with 2 outs and a man at second. Takes ball 4. Mike Scioscia going to the bullpen. Cesar Ramos being called upon with 2 outs and 2 on to face Shin-Soo Choo when we return. Texas up 4-2. In action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins next Thursday on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The Angels came into this one a half game back to the idle Houston Astros for the second wild card spot. The Minnesota Twins have defeated the Cleveland Indians. So the Angels in need of a win. They need to win out.
Yeah, they have to win out.
That's pretty much the bottom line. Lost today, they eliminate them from the West, and then have to concentrate on that wild card.
Extremely important there for Cesar Ramos to be able to get Shin-Soo Choo out here now. And down by 2 in this ballpark. Get back quickly. You're going to make sure no damage here.
Andrus, the base runner at second, to Shields at first. A good speed on the bases for Texas. Cesar pitching in his 63rd ball game. First one on the way. It is off the plate. Ramos 2-1 at 2.08 ERA. Pitched 1 inning last night, and all zeros for him. Done a nice job for the Angels this year. Ibar trying to keep Andrus as close as possible to the base at second. Trying to expand the zone a little bit. It's 1-1. Stayed away from it. Good off-speed pitch, 1-2. Choo 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the 5th. Top of the 7th, the Angels have Freese, Victorino, and Perez. We think to face Derek Hall, although there's action in the Ranger pit. Choo takes inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ross Ollendorf getting ready for Texas.
There's been a number of games where Holland's been well over that 100 pitch mark.
And Ollendorf didn't start loosening until just recently, so maybe just a late decision. 2-2 now. And that's a called strike 3. You talk about a bad strike call, the Angels will take it. That pitch nowhere near the zone. Chu can't believe it. We will head to the 7th. The Angels up 4-2. Call by Quinn Walcott on Shin-Soo Choo. I mean, the Angels certainly will take it, but this is what Choo was upset about.
He's setting up a way, Perez. You can see him. He doesn't bring the glove down too often unless he thinks he's going to try to steal a strike. He got that strike because he brought it down. Most times he keeps that glove there because he knows that pitch was not in the strike zone, but got the call.
David Freese leads things off, takes a breaking ball for a strike. Freese walked in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th. Drew Stubbs comes into the ball game, replacing DeShields as Freese lifts one out toward right. One down. New York Yankees end up beating the Boston Red Sox tonight. They clinch the wild card spot, a wild card spot.
You know the Yankees always enjoy getting to the postseason, especially against their rivals when they're able to beat them.
Victorino was at the plate. Looked like realized that maybe there was a hairline crack in the bat. Gets a new piece of lumber. And now will step up. Sac fly in the 2nd for him. Picked up his 7th RBI. Singleton was stranded in the 5th inning. Back inside. I'll tell you what. Credit Derek Holland and Robinson Chirinos tonight, because the game plan today was clearly to pitch in on all right-handed batters, and they have pitched in to every single guy. It's been effective. This one hits Victorino. It's worked so far. You see a lot of jam shots, a couple of broken bats.
Well, we showed you the numbers in the opening today, how well the Angels have hit here in this ballpark over the last 2 seasons. It's in that Jersey area. Another fastball in. And when you see those type of numbers, that means they're getting their arms extended against you as hitters. So this game, Holland's determined to pitch inside. Looks like Bannister may indeed make a move to the bullpen now.
Yeah, Bannister making the slow walk. Ollendorf's ready to go. And as I say this about Holland and Chirinos, Now with Victorino on board, the Angels are one swing away from potentially tying this game up. Holland will depart here with 1 out in the 7th inning. The Angels are down by the score of 4-2, but have a man on. A pitching change here in the 7th inning. Are in the 7th inning with 1 out and 1 on. I want to remind you can follow the Angels at MLB.com at bat. The #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. You can get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Carlos Perez coming to the plate to face Ross Ohlendorf, pitching in his 20th big league game for Texas this year. 3-0 record, a 2.45 ERA, 18 strikeouts, and 18 in the 3rd inning. Signed in the offseason. Was eventually released July 31st, re-signed with Texas to a minor league deal, and then got called back up.
Yeah, fastballs 92 to 96, slider, changeup.
Austin, Texas native. First one to Carlos is outside for ball 1. Perez, a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning, a walk in the 5th, so he's 0 for 1. Ohlendorf now 33 years of age. The Princeton University was a Diamondbacks 4th round pick in 04. Little flare out toward foul side at first base. Napolo's there. 2 down. Another pitch in off the plate to a right-handed batter.
It's definitely been the game plan here. Fastballs in. If you're going to miss off the plate in.
Mentioned that Ranger bullpen prior to the All-Star break. Had a 4.35 relief ERA before the break. That was last in the American League. And revamped it since then, since the All-Star break. The 5th best ERA on the pen at 3.62.
In September, the bullpen ERA 1.94.
Givitella takes up and away for ball 1. Johnny a walk and a fly ball to right. So he's 0 for 1. Victorino with a very short lead over at first base. Angels just 3 hits in this one. Albert with 2 of them. Victorino with the other. One ball, 1 strike. Victorino on board. Hit by a pitch. Last batter that Holland faced. 6 1/3 for him. 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks.
I'm really surprised how concerned they are with Victorino over first base.
One and 2. Top of the order, Eric Ibar on deck. Bounce that one. Nice block by Chirinos.
Anticipating a breaking ball potentially in the dirt. Spotting a perfect position to keep that in front of him. Hard slider.
One of those, you don't keep your chin in your chest, you get one right in the throat.
Exactly.
Victorino thought about going from first base as Civatella takes low. Full count. He's going to take off now. A full count of 2 outs. (4-2) Texas in the 7th. Runner goes. Civatella takes ball 4. So 2 on, 2 outs now, and Ibar coming up.
Exactly what you want, an opportunity. Almost got through that last inning. Matt is going to go out and have a conversation now with Ollendorf. Rick Ibar has 5 career home runs in this ballpark.
He really struggled against Derek Holland tonight. And maybe it's the approach that Holland had against Angel hitters in general. But Eric, throughout his career, has had good numbers against Holland. But tonight, just couldn't get it going. 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and a double play ball. He'll spin around to hit from the left side for the first time.
And as usual, a long conversation out on the mound here. Mike Maddox.
He plays 4 corners with the best of them. Victorino at second, Civatella at first. The tying run at first base. 2 outs. Chu playing shallow and right. Napoli deep and a little bit toward the line at first base. First one. Nope. Will spin move.
That's what you want if you're Eric Ibar. Distracted pitcher.
Down and in. Calhoun is on deck. Jake Diekman, fireballing lefty, is hitting ready for Texas.
It's 18 1/3 innings pitched coming into this game here for Ollendorf. He's getting 4 home runs though.
The 1-0. Downstairs to the fastball, 2-0.
If you're Eric Ibar, you're sent right in the zone where you can drive it. Otherwise, you know you're going to get a 2-1 fastball. It's not your perfect pitch.
Ibar took a rip with that one.
You like that? You can afford to do that when you're ahead of the count 2-0. Now your approach changes now for Ibar.
Hollendorfer's running. A couple of glances back to Victorino. 2-1. And that is out toward right center field. Here comes Drew Stubbs. That'll fall in for a base hit. Victorino will come in to score. The throw goes to third. It's cut off by Andrews, and the Angels are down 1. Ibar with the RBI single. It's 4-3 Texas.
Well placed single into the outfield there by Eric Ibar. Picking up his 43rd RBI.
Bigger Bannister's coming out, and sure enough.
Pitch on the inner half of the plate. Another fastball. Base hit into center field. In business once again.
2-out rallies have been plenty for the Angels over the last couple of games. Trying to do it once again here in the 7th. 1 run in. The Angels are down 4-3. One run. They've got a couple of men on at the corners with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Cole Calhoun's coming to the plate. Cole will face Jake Diekman, 28-year-old Nebraska native, pitching in his 25th game. And that is 25 games with Texas. A 2.18 ERA. Terrific arm. He came over from the Phillies along with Cole Hamels in the deal that they had earlier this year.
He's got a power fastball, 93 to 98. Slider, changeup.
Struggled in the National League this year with a 5.15 ERA in 41 games. Facing Cole. First pitch swinging, breaks his bat, fouls it back 0-1.
You see that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Cole's 1 for 1 against Diekman in his career.
And the Angels faced the Phillies in Philadelphia last year, a 2-game series. They're much better here in the American League. 30th round pick by the Phillies in 2007. Cole tonight 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Pretty good find though for a lefty with that kind of fastball falling only the 30th round.
0-1 outside. Evens a count. Giovatello's the base runner at third base. He walked with 2 outs. Ibar with the RBI single. Eric picking up his 43rd run batted in. Holland gets charged with the 3 runs tonight. He's 6 1/3. 2 base runners on now belong to Ollendorf. 1-1. Bouncer left side. Beltre can't get it. Andrews has it. Long throw to first. Cole easily thrown out for the 3rd out. But the Angels do draw within a run. The RBI single by Eric Ibar. Cuts that deficit to 1 run. Have 3, 4, and 5 coming up here against Cesar Ramos. Struck out Shin-Soo Choo in the 6th inning. Cesar stays in the game to face 3, 4, and 5. Beltre fielder in Napoli. Adrian Beltre tonight, 1 for 2. Bases clearing double in the 5th inning. He will look at a strike. This one bounced past C.J. Cronin into right field. Cole over to cut it off. Beltre will stop right there. And it's a leadoff single for Beltre, his 2nd hit of the night.
That's when you know you're going well, when you have a swing where you're kind of fooled on it, yet you're still able to punch that one right down the other way, down the first baseline. Nice play by Cole to keep Beltre to a single. Aggressively goes after that baseball, cuts it off with 11 outfield assists this season for Calhoun. Wise decision by Beltre to stay at first.
Talk about the all-important shutdown inning and what you need right here in the bottom of the 7th after drawing within 1. Fielder flips one out to left field. That'll get down for a base hit. A jam shot. 2 on and nobody out.
Again, most times there's a flare in the outfield. It's an elevated pitch, and that's exactly what that was.
Looks like that's going to be it for Ramos, with Mike Scioscia making his way out. So the first two batters have reached. Fernando Salas will be called upon to face Mike Napoli. It's 4-3 Texas.
Out, Mike Scioscia going down to the bullpen, bringing in Fernando Salas. ERA at 4.31, 62 and 2/3 innings pitched, 5-2 record. This will be his 71st game. Been very good so far this season in 7 games versus the Rangers. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs.
Fernando pitched last night, 1/3 of an inning, issued a walk. He's going to face Mitch Moreland, who will pinch hit here for Mike Napoli. Moreland ends the game going 0 for 1. Napoli ends the game going 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Mitch will stay in the game and play first base. Nobody out. Beltre, the base runner at second, fielder at first. Moreland takes low. Left-handed batters at 281 this year. 23 home runs, 84 runs batted in. He's 5 for 11 as a pinch hitter with 3 runs batted in. 0 for 1 in his career against Salas. Chase a high fastball. 1-1. This one out towards center. Trout racing back, still moving back. Looks like he's got a bead on it. He'll make the catch at the base of the wall. The throw goes to second as Beltre advances to third. 1 down.
Still have the double play in order. Ball was hit well by Moreland. Got back to that 404 sign.
And again, a lot of carry tonight,
especially to center field. And you can tell by that first step. Trout, he was surprised how that ball just kept drifting back right in front of that 404 sign. And wise decision to get that in quickly to second base, just in case Fields has thought about tagging out, because you keep that double play in order.
Hamilton 1 for 3 with a double in the second inning. He's grounded out and struck out since. Takes outside. Beltre at third base, fielder at first. That's out towards center field, hit well again. Trout racing back, he'll make the catch. It'll be deep enough to score Beltre though. And Texas gets one of those runs back. It's 5-3 Rangers. Sack fly for Hamilton, giving him his 22nd run batted in. That run gets charged to Ramos.
Hamilton did a nice job of staying back. That's a changeup. That ball extremely well, and another baseball to carry well to center field. Changeup, stayed back. Used the middle of the field in a successful swing for Hamilton.
Two outs, fielder at first. 5-3 Texas now. Here's Elvis Andrus. Shortstop looks at a strike. 2 for 3 game for Andrus. A couple of singles, a stolen base, 2 stolen bases, pardon. And a run scored. Taylor's in the 8th. We'll have Trout, Pujols, and Crone due up.
Good slider there from Fernando. And with that leg kick he has now, Andrews, he will be more susceptible, especially for a slider if you mess up his timing as far as getting the foot down. He's going to go back with another slider.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Texas has Sam Dyson getting ready, their bullpen. Another one of those relievers that was picked up on July 31st, coming over from the Marlins. Two balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Fielder standing at first. 1 run in for Texas. The Angels down by 2. Called strike 3. Down goes Andrews, and the inning is over. 1 run, 2 hits. 1 left on. We head to the 8th. The Angels have Trout, Pujols, and Cron coming up, down 5-3.
Five to 3. Getting now to crunch time right now. Patrick O'Neill, stick around after this game for our Angels Live postgame show. I'll be joined by Jose Mota right here on the field. Hopefully get some clubhouse reaction here from Mike Scioscia, anybody else that we could certainly talk to. But, you know, I just got to get it back up to Victor and Mark. I mean, you can feel the tension here, just the importance of this game right now. But if they're going to, you know, crack into this lead, this is the opportunity with Mike Trout in the heart of this order coming up.
Well, Patrick, like they did yesterday, chipping away. They chipped away in the 6th and 7th innings. Unfortunately, gave one back at the bottom of the 7th inning. So now down 2, and they'll face a right-hander by the name of Sam Dyson. Terrific arm, pitching his 29th game, 2-1 record, 1.27 ERA, and that's since coming over from the Marlins. He pitched in 44 games with the Fish and had a 3.68 ERA. For Florida.
Yeah, power fastball, 94 to 99. Throws over 71% of his pitch to fastballs. With a little slider and changeup.
27-year-old in Tampa, Florida. Facing Trout, and the first one is Trout. Dyson, the 4th round pick in 2010 by the Blue Jays out of the University of South Carolina. It's the same high school as Lance McCullers, Jesuit High School in Tampa. Trout hitless tonight, 0 for 3. A strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball to center. Dyson takes over for Diekman, who went 1/3 of it, and he retired Cole Calhoun to finish off the 7th.
See that movement he has. Yeah, I know it's a power fastball, but that's a lot of movement. It looked like a pretty good pitch also.
Two one. 3-1.
His fastball. Trinos tries to bring it back. Real close again. 2 pitches in a row at 96. Yeah, not get the call. Could have gone either way.
That one was a little bit off. The other one, the previous pitch, was on the block. It's just been that kind of night. Both sides have been chirping at Quinn Walcott. Bouncer left side, not hit hard. Andrews comes charging in, off balance through, and Trout retired for the first out.
And Andrews knew he had to charge that baseball quickly. The Trout speed going down the line made a very good play.
One out, nobody on, and Pujols at the plate. Albert, 2 of the 4 hits the Angels have put on the board tonight. The double in the second, and the home run in the 6th inning. Home run is 39th this year. 92nd run batted in.
1 for 2 in his career versus Dyson.
C.J. Cron on deck. Ground ball sharply hit to Andrews. 2 down. So here's Cron. He's 0 for 3. Couple of ground outs and a fly ball to left. Dribbler back toward the mound. Off of Dyson, over to Andrews, bare hands it, throws to first and got him. It has been that kind of second half of the Texas Rangers. Everything has gone well for them. That is a 1-6-3 unconventional out at first base to end the 8th.
That's why you never give up on a ground ball as a middle infielder. Charges it well with the bare hand, perfect throw. All 3 plays in this inning. Solid by Andrews.
And 1. Want to remind you the CIF Southern Section football action returns to Fox Sports West tomorrow night. This week, OC rival San Clemente and 20th ranked Tesoro face off at 8:30 p.m. following the Angels-Rangers game here on Fox Sports West. Plus, you can stream these 4 additional Prep Zone games live at foxsportswest.com and on the Fox Sports Go app. Check out foxsportswest.com for more information. Pretty cool and nifty play by Elvis Andrus to get C.J. Cron there, to stay with it, to even charge that baseball and think that he's got to play to get the out.
Become a spectator at times, assuming the pitcher's going to feel his position. Not only come in on that baseball, but use the bare hand in a perfect throw.
Corey Rasmus takes over on the mound, replacing Fernando Salas, Rougned Odor, Robinson Chirinos, and Drew Stubbs. The scheduled 3 batters here in the 8th inning. Odor 0 for 3. No other changes for the Angels. That one fouled right back into Carlos. No bueno. 1 ball, 1 strike. Odor 0 for 3. 1 ground down, a couple of fly ball outs. See, was this one fouled? Rasmus pitching in his 15th game, no record at a 5.89 ERA. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a full count. Been a lot of pitches, a lot of deep counts for Angels pitchers today. 7 walks total. Payoff pitch. Odor skies it foul. Reset and do it again. Looking ahead to the Angels' 9th. Freeze, Victorino, and Perez are the scheduled batters. So they'll get Tollison. Obviously, Murphy
also in this inning.
This one fouled back. Murphy does bat. Figure he'll get a nice round of applause by the Rangers faithful. Big part of their run. A Texas native. Down goes Odor as he chases the breaking ball. 1 away.
Good slider after a number of off-speed pitches during the course of this at-bat.
Robinson Chirinos, the catcher, is 1 for 2. A single, a walk, and a strikeout. Fouled off to the left. It's a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. That scream you heard was from her. Nice catch by the man.
I got it, no problem. Routine play for me, that pop up.
One to Torinos. Popped up behind the plate. Perez heading back toward the warning track, and we'll put it away for round number 2. So 2 outs, and Drew Stubbs coming up. Yankees clinching a wild card spot. Houston idle tonight. They will start a 3-game set against Phoenix, against the Arizona Diamondbacks in Phoenix tomorrow. The Angels needing a victory to pick up that half game.
So doesn't have that designated hitter.
That's right.
Evan Gattis may not be available unless they put him in left field. It's a tough left field to Chase Field in Arizona.
Halos with a loss today would be 1 back in that second wild card spot and tied with Minnesota as they took care of Cleveland tonight. And the loss takes them out of the West. Texas, if they hang on, would reduce their match number to 1. Stubbs took over defensively in the 7th inning for DeShields down at center field. 105 average in 23 games. That was with Texas. It's at the Rockies earlier this year. Really good speed. Three and 1.
With that speed and then True on deck, you don't want to put that combination up here for the Rangers trying to expand their lead.
4 runs that Texas put on the board in the 5th inning, all charged to Andrew Heaney in his 4 1/3. Stubbs fouls it off, full count.
Stubbs has always been one of those guys with a ton of talent, but hasn't been consistent putting the ball in plays. A ton of strikeouts. A lot of talent, but an inconsistent swing.
Three-two on the way. He bounces this one over to third. Freeze has it. Across the diamond. A 1-2-3 inning for Rasmus. We head to the 9th. The Angels will have Freeze, Victorino, Perez, and the scheduled batters down by 2. The top-tier play of the game brought to you by Arco, and really the difference in this one was the bases-loaded double by Adrian Beltre off Andrew Heaney. It played in 3 runs. Opened up the game. Snapped the 1-1 time, then 4-1. He just got a run in the 6th. And a run in the 7th. The draw within 1 run, but then Texas got one of those runs back at the bottom of the 7th inning. That's where we stand right now. It is 5-3. David Freese to lead things off. Sean Tolleson takes over on the mound. This will be his 71st game, 6-3 record, 34 saves this year. He was blown 2. Murphy has come out to the on-deck circle. So he'll pinch hit for Shane Victorino. David Freese tonight, a walk, a ground down, a fly ball to right. Takes a fastball for a strike.
Tolleson's fastball is 91 to 95. There's a slight occasional cutter. The changeup.
Oh, 2. Oh, 2 now. Breaking ball misses. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Just need that base runner to bring that tying run to the plate. Especially with Murphy. He's had quite a few home runs in this ballpark in his career.
Two down. Freese fouls it off. Saw this play out a little bit last night. Angels down 2 in the 9th. Cole homering. Brought the Angels within 1. The tying run left at third base. Needing a rally here in the 9th tonight. 2-2 again. Full count.
Good at bat here, working for Freese. Patience, not helping out. Tolleson. You know, him being on base, extremely important here.
Payoff pitch. Freese shoots one down the right field line, and this one is going to be just foul. Not a lot of room down there between the foul line and the wall.
Tried to punch that ball to that side of the field. That's how close that was. 2-3 feet away from that line.
Back inside they go, and Freese chops this one to the left side. Elvis Andrus has been busy tonight. 1 down.
That's 4 in a row. Make that 5 in a row for Andrus.
Nine total chances for Andrus. Murphy pinch hitting for Victorino. Shane a sac fly, a single, and hit by pitch, and also scored a run. 284 average, 10 home runs, at 49 runs batted in. It's Carlos Perez on deck. Tomorrow night, Jared Weaver on the mound. Martin Perez, the lefty, scheduled to go for Texas. 2 balls, no strikes. There's Reeve. That was last start. A little tightness in his shoulder. Cleared to go for tomorrow night's start.
15-8 in his career versus the Rangers.
A 3-0 count. Carlos Perez on deck. And you get Johnny Giavitello. If we get to that point, 3-0. Murphy takes a strike, 3-1.
Good take. And you got to make sure this pitch is perfect also.
Moreland has this hopper. Fades Tonneson. And the Angels are down to the last out. Carlos denied a fielder's choice of walking a pop-up. He will look at a strike. Now we're missing down and away. He was accounted 1 ball, 1 strike. A season ago was 98 wins and a Western Division title for the Angels. Now on October the 1st, and out away from being eliminated as far as the Western Division is concerned. 1-1. A strike, 1-2. They would find themselves a game back, tied with Minnesota for the second wild card spot with 3 to play. Houston will be in Arizona. Minnesota will be at home hosting the Kansas City Royals. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Perez pops this one foul and out of play.
Over 3 games left after tonight. Got to win all of them, like we've been saying for quite some time, and need some help now. A lot of help, both in Arizona and then for Kansas City to take care of the Twins.
Tonneson ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Carlos fouls it off to the right. Bloop and a blast. That's all you need, right?
That's all you're looking for. And Giavitello on deck. The way he's come through. And Socha would love to see Perez somehow get on base for him.
Carlos goes down swinging, and the Angels drop the opener of the series by the final of 5-3 and officially eliminated as far as the Western Division is concerned.
Yeah, we talked about in the opening how well the offense has gone since July of 2014 in this ballpark, but only 4 hits today. Credit Derek Holland in the bullpen of Texas in a big swing. Adrian Beltre with the bases loaded, the key swing of the game. So the Rangers win this one 5-3.
Final tonight, 5-3. Game 2 of this 3-game set coming up tomorrow night. The Angels now a game back, tied with Minnesota on the second wild card spot. Stick around. Angels Live postgame coming up next.